So this presentation is going to be about all of the stages of editing. And I know that the different stages can be confusing to people. So we're going to talk about where some of those lines are, how to understand one stage compared to the other, but we're also going to look at what the process will be like if you hire an editor. So what is the process like for each stage? And we're going to look at some examples as well, especially because it can be, you might read, you might be familiar with some of the stages just from reading online, but it's kind of hard to get a good sense until before you jump in. So hopefully some of the examples that I share with you can make you feel more confident as you go on your editing journey. We're also going to talk a little bit about the relationship between an editor and an author to make sure that that runs smoothly. And very briefly, we're going to touch on some administrative questions that aren't the focus of this presentation, but I know are really common. So I think that that can also be helpful.
Whether you're going to publish the traditional route or self-publish, I think this is a good, there's going to be a lot of good information here for you, because even if someone else is taking care of all of this, it's a good idea for you as an author to know what's going on behind the scenes. I've structured this class as a complete DIY class for someone who wants to do the whole publishing process themselves. But as we go along, you'll see there's a spectrum. So you can do as much or as little as you want, know when to hire a freelancer or get help from family or friends. The one thing I will say about self-publishing is it's desktop publishing. So you do need to be pretty comfortable on a computer, navigating new websites, working with different files. So that's just something to keep in mind. But again, there's lots of help and resources available out there.
This is our webinar, Marketing for Indie Authors, or my other title, which was Book Marketing 101. And let's dive in. So I'm going to start with the obvious, which is, most authors ask me, their burning questions are, which platform should I use? Should I self-publish on Amazon, KDP, or should I do Ingram Spark? There's also Draft to Digital, which I believe offers similar services as Ingram Spark. I'm not as familiar with them, and Ingram Spark is the more popular one, so that's the one that I'll be going over. So my 2 cents before we dive in is that a very high percentage of book consumers go to Amazon to purchase. That's just the harsh reality of the book business. This is why major publishers work so closely with Amazon to determine our pricing, our discounts, things like that. And the average consumer uses Amazon a lot like Google. So if they hear about a book or they see a mention, they'll go on Amazon and they'll search for it like they would for Google. So I feel for many self-publishers, Amazon is the right platform, and it's also very cost-effective, and we'll get into that. And this is especially true for if you're a debut author, which I would say the majority of my Readsy clients are debut authors, or even if you're, in your second book in the series, depending on where you want your books placed. If you want them available from your local independent bookstore or your local library, and if you're building your brand and turning your passion into a business, then you can consider Ingram's services. But bear in mind that, because of Ingram's distribution, you'd see more profit on Amazon.